Welcome to 1 Point Perspective with Christy Hartman. We are going to complete a project similar to this one, although you are going to put your own character and your own background and your own middle ground into this project. So you are going to decide how this project is completed. That's up to you. What I'm going to help you do is I'm going to teach you how to develop the checkerboard. I'm going to explain to you how we're going to develop the background, and we're going to talk about developing the character in the foreground. Some supplies that we're going to need. One good reference book that I have is called The Art of Perspective, and this is by Phil Metzger. This is in your PDF. I talk about it in your PDF. It is just an amazing book. It's been out on the market for a while, but it is still one of the best perspective books that I have ever encountered. So I would recommend that you get this. In this book, you have lots and lots of examples of different types of perspective that you're going to want to use. We're going to talk in this video about 1 point perspective, and that's definitely in this book. Now, this is an adult book. This is not designed for kids, but for you, those of you parents out there who want to help your children, this is an amazing book to get, to hold on to help them understand perspective, and it will encompass all of the different types of perspective that you will encounter. The next thing that I'm going to recommend you get is, this is a fairly large project. This is done on a 12 by 18 inch piece of paper. So you need a good size sheet of paper. Now, all of my instructions are designed for this 12 by 18 inch sheet of paper. If you choose to use something smaller or something larger, then you will have to adjust your measurements. You're going to need a piece of cardstock because we are going to use this great little triangle tool, which helps kids to develop perspective without having to use a ruler. However, you will need a ruler, so go ahead and grab an 18-inch ruler. You're also going to need a good pencil, a good eraser. You're going to need a couple of template tools. A circle template is a great one. An oval template, either one will be fine. It depends on what shape you want your face to be for your character. You're also going to need possibly a compass. So get a good compass. This is mine. Any compass will work, or you can just freehand your face if you prefer. Any of those options work. You're going to need some things to color with. You'll need a set of colored pencils, a set of oil pastels. If you don't have oil pastels, you can easily use crayons instead, although I like the looks of oil pastels better. You also, instead of using regular colored pencils, maybe you'd prefer to use watercolor pencils, which I have a couple sets in here. I have the Derwent, I have the Prismacolor, and these are also Derwent Inktense. Whatever you have for a brand of colored pencils or watercolor pencils would work. I just find that for kids, for this project, there's a lot of detail involved, and consequently, something that allows them a lot of control makes it a much more desirable project. Let's set up our checkerboard. That's probably the most important thing that we will do here. Checkerboard is a 1 point perspective, so we need to develop from this point down to the bottom so that we have all of those lines converging in our center point back here. And we could do that with a ruler. Most of the time, my experience has been that kids struggle using a ruler. So in my head, thought, how could I change this project for kids so that they could accomplish this project, feel successful, and not need me to do the entirety of the project. Because in my opinion, if I have to do the entire project for them, that's not a good project for kids. So I figured out that I could use this triangle tool, which is in your PDF, and using this triangle tool allowed kids to develop their checkerboard. So the first thing I needed to do is I need to measure down from the top of my paper 2 inches. And what I did, so that I didn't have to bring out rulers and tell kids where 2 inches were, because I always did this project with 4th graders. Most 4th graders cannot do that. Much as we'd like to think they can, they can't. So instead, I cut 2-inch strips. This is actually cut out of watercolor paper, but I would cut them out of cardstock for kids. Place that 2-inch strip right along the top of your paper so that your edges match up. Hold on to it and draw your 2-inch line. That makes your background line. Now we need to find the center. I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to give it a really good crease. Just going to run my fingernail along it a couple of times. Okay, I'm going to open that up, and when we come back, we'll be ready to start our checkerboard.